Let's begin from the site of an inferno because the fire has destroyed nearly all of Kantamanto market in Accra's central business district, displacing hundreds of traders. Now, the blaze, which began last night, has caused widespread devastation. The Ghana National Fire Service mobilized fire tenders and equipment from across the Greater Atakura region to fight what firefighters have called an unprecedented inferno. Despite their efforts, large sections of the market were completely consumed, with traders and eyewitnesses desperately joining in the battle to fight the flames. Kantamanto, famed as Africa's largest clothing market, has suffered numerous fires in the past. However, firefighters believe the scale of this latest blaze could halt business activities for an extended period.
And we are making sure that the building, the adjoining building over there does not get affected by the fire. We have 13 fire tenders that have been dispatched to the scene. It's a very serious situation. This whole area was the fire had not started. Initially, we were able to cool this fire and the fire had not spread. But due to the fact that the unavailability of fire hydrants and when we ran out of water, the fire again reignited. But so far, we are working hard to make sure that the unaffected buildings, this building and this building, is isolated from the fire. It's a very serious situation. The bank is also very close by. It's a very important installation. The unfortunate thing for us is that at the bank, apart from the generator, we have a diesel tanker over there. So we have to direct resources to cooling the diesel tanker so that the fire does not get out of hand or the fire does not spread to the diesel tanker, starting an explosion. So far, I think we recorded any civilian casualty for now. We recorded a fire officer casualty. Unfortunately, he dislocated his shoulder and is being attended to. But we are here, and until the fire is total, we are even between us 2 days. We are here till the fire is out. So the fire has gone from back to west. As can be seen, initial videos, you see this front wasn't affected. Now these front shots have all been raised down by the fire. And we are making sure that the building, the adjoining building over there does not get affected by the fire.
It's a good time to take you live to the scene of the inferno and speak to my colleague Collins Frimpong, who has been there for us all morning. Collins, has the fire finally been brought under control? Hello, Collins. Hello, Collins. Has the fire finally been brought under control?
Right. Ken, so we are still here at Kantamanto Market, where fire has ravaged over hundreds of shops and millions of cedis have also been lost. A lot of items already burnt. And the sad situation is, as traders are counting their losses, scrap dealers are also here, making sure that they get the metals to go and sell. So that's the sad situation unfolding here. But the fire service have been able to bring the situation under control, and they were able to mobilize 13 fire tenders to the grounds, the situation grounds, and now they've been able to put the situation under control here. We still want to speak to this to engage so far. How this affecting them. Good morning, Mami Mpacho. You're from saying
you're from a Vida Credo. Meton curtains. Any best best spread. Na niako no. Sempeni for my moi. Omusho no monka ho asem. Esan se timamufo no. Yenya na ye boaboa ye ho. Ye ni aban dwuma ye. na yakase wo egresha ye ba kogie ana ye wo pension pay aya we koye pension a ye beja kodie ye die pan kakra akra wa ha ene ye ba no aduane ye nyam school fees na se ye be bobra pesika aya dwuma ama edwuma ne se etimpe ne de jabetum abanse sabape ne de jabetum sade na ekoso na wo sempani fo mo man mu no omo hwe no mka ho asem esanse Kantamanto we kese ekita Kantamanto kita no abakrat me mabia dwuma amfa sa we kese no eti sa oya isi oya su nyina ye o man Ghana e madia empani fo mo man mu no omo hwe no mo nsi sade na wo kwan because etini pasunsum so etini pasunsum so pa esanse ni bakono oni obia obeyebodwa kakra wo fifa ko animu no ne de jabetum edenti na o say basa say bi kwa ha na mpese mo gi a mo ne e betena se aka na ya yi aniama asa na maye de mpese mo ye na mo boya fom na mo bom fo ye fom wi a mo wo musika mo de baba ya aniama kese de a yesu antwi ma wom anya de be twema mo ne o china eti sampani fo o man mu a o mo fo mo na nsi fom o mo fo mo na nsi fom
Perfect. So she is pleading with the government to take measures to address the situation, and she suspects that some actions may have caused the situation. But Mama, Pacho, would you say but so that's the sad situation here. Millions of Ghana cedis have been destroyed. We still have more people here. Daddy, good morning.
Morning, sir. I say, my tadio Kantamanto have 33 years in it. Yeah, me had the cost of the hour with John Massey. Kantamanto could 30 years situation. Look at the leaders in. So all of a sudden, recently I have to have a and now see NGO for the other on person basic animal market. MIA. So yeah, on my last meeting we are conquering our mountains. And decided that it is a meeting. I will say the entire Hashi. Kantamanto Trade Association or a 13 association. On my last meeting, I'm going to mountains. Almost almost come over has to see Jana. So now, baby, we are near free as a Can you have 30,000? Then you have to chat Raja. You better tell us on cover 20. On the hope we take a video class here. And even in Ashi, get the American school. A company never said the American school. Oh, we have there to 13 years in it. And a Hashi, the same day to Anashe. People are born in Juras Debra. They are called flat out Mikobi. They are called Cassie Mikobi. After the AVM. Yakoje musia de ye adwuma masa abu abra yesu adai afibia na maso ya sei enti Kantamanto jaga tisle wa sei no me throw challenge to am say e dey na ba ya meet me na ko ya hahye om ya hunu anti sa penu yo be se be demonstration tia no eya obi of first of sister obi be demonstration am so be simmo ye be because meeting na ko ya no mountains last one no e dey na film ba ye e dey na ka tell members no om ya hunu 13 zaga tisra Kantamanto mi ehunu santisa de ala se bibi wachiri
so de be na de beto aban nanim
de me sava ne se enye ne da ebisie enti yesre wo mu se se me be ko school o mu hwe se obi an franchise me je hu se wa be mo ha sei but yesre se obewi a na interest no ano no e de ani ayefuru no ho nom ensia de kwa hina na ba na aseye o me ka na mete e mo bibi kakra e wetim de ahia mete school fees na mom so ambaje hu de a that is o mo bu ya bra yesu so o mo bu ya bra yesu ntia sraban no e se de okọ ane de oba no o mo mo aye na yesia no nkoya no sentisa de a and the other have been ni ba be 30,000 na Kantamanto wa say o ma yi ko abantini ko tonka ho ye nyina de na be si from Ghana never go for the nyina ye de a ade na mma bia no de ane bo wo mu etika 30 executive so Kantamanto no meeting am ko ye na mountains last meeting am ye hunu sentence everything to
right. Thank you. So all that he is saying, he is somehow partially blaming the leaders of Kantamanto Market Association. According to him, they had a meeting some time ago that they agreed to construct this place. They want to turn it to a mall, and they somehow disagreed. The members or the traders here disagreed with the decision that the leaders of the Kantamanto Market Traders Association took by turning this place into a mall. So they suspect that because of that, that's why they are also trying to find ways and means to turn the place into mall. So that's why they set the place ablaze. So that's the suspicion that some of the traders are also raising here. But the situation is also an eyesore here. The fire has been contained. The fire service are still present here, but the situation has been contained. A lot of security agencies and also the national fire, the national ambulance is also here, making sure that everybody is safe here. That's the situation here currently. Ken.
Collins Frimpong live on scene from the site of the Inferno at Kantamanto Market. We'll definitely be following through to see how this development story unfolds. Let's talk education now, because the colleges of education teachers, CETAG, will not show up in class when school reopens on the 13th of January, as they have declared an indefinite strike starting today after government failed to implement staff migration and pay compensation for all year-round work as directed by the National Labour Commission Arbitral Award last year. Now, the teachers gave government a Friday, December 27th deadline to fulfill its obligations or face a significant industrial action, a deadline the government failed to meet, leading to this action by CETAG. Now, CETAG President Maxwell Bunu will join us shortly, but first here is a breakdown of engagements between CETAG and government on its fulfillment promises. And this is it. At an emergency meeting of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana held on Monday, the 30th of December, the council resolved to embark on an indefinite industrial action with effect from Thursday, the 2nd of January, which is today. This decision follows the earlier notices of strike served on the 26th of September 2024 and the 23rd of December 2024, of which the National Labour Commission has failed to address the concerns raised. Now, specifically, the employer has willfully failed to comply with the National Labour Commission's compulsory arbitration award issued on the 2nd of May 2023 in breach of Section 167(2) and 3 and Section 64(4) of the Labour Act 2003, Act 651. Second is the failure on the part of the employer within a period of 20 months to complete the migration of the colleges of education teaching staff onto the affiliate universities' pay structure. The three is government's undue delay in paying the remaining 42 colleges the 1-month basic salary as compensation for all year-round work done by CETAG members in 2022 as ordered by the National Labour Commission on the 2nd of May 2023. The prolonged delays of government in issuing the new appointment letters based on the staff audit report and the affiliate universities scheme of service to staffs to enable the migration to be effected by the Controller and Accountant General's Department in October 2024 as agreed. 5. The non-payment of top-up of book and research allowance for 2023 to staff of Atakura College of Education. 6. The NLC's inertia in triggering Section 172 of the Labour Act 2003, Act 651, to compel the employers to comply with the 2nd of May and August 31st, 2023 orders and directives through the union, although it has written several letters to the Commission for reinforcement of the compulsory arbitration awards as specified in Section 172 of the Labour Act 2003, Act 651. 51. Right, and Maxwell Bonu is the president of CETAG. He's joining me right now on Zoom with more on this. Maxwell, thank you for your time. What are the specific reasons behind CETAG's decision to strike, and how have these issues impacted your members' working conditions?
Thank you, my brother, for the opportunity. Good morning to your viewers across the country. The issue that we're talking about today has lingered on for so many years and months. And my colleagues are not happy with the treatment meted out to them. Government's listless attitude to implementing arbitral award. So they have resolved across the country that come 13th January, they are not going to the classroom to teach. Neither would they also go to the various schools where the level 400 teacher trainees are practicing or having their intention. They are supposed to supervise them. They aren't going to supervise them, and they also not vet their project work. That's the decision that council has taken.
Ask why now?
Well, brother, it is not now. The issue has lingered, and I made that point. Since 2022, we actually did additional duty, perform additional work, and National Labour Commission ruled on 2nd May 2023 that the stakeholders, especially GTEC, Fairwages, should take steps to migrate teaching staffs of the colleges of education onto the university salary structure. That for the additional work performed in the year 2022, pay them just 1 man's salary equivalent. And also make sure that you issue them with new appointment letters.
Okay.
And my brother, as I speak with you, those things have not been done. Even with the all year round work compensation, only 4 colleges have been paid. The remaining 42 colleges are still outstanding. So the issue has been there, and we have had several meetings. And the last time your colleagues interviewed me, I mentioned to them that we have had over 42 different meetings and still counting. When you go, it has been one promise after another promise, one promise after another promise. And I think we had enough of the promises and enough of the meetings that we have attended.
Right.
So we felt that after issuing several presses and statements in the media that if all these things that we have identified, mentioned, have not been done for the members of CETAG, certainly we're going to embark on strike. If you recall, we issued a strike notice somewhere 26th of September 2024.
Yes.
Then there was additional notice just to give some time for government to maybe get things done. And they never minded us. So another notice was issued on 23rd and also 24th. And still, there has not been any positive response. So eventually, we have gotten to what we have gotten to, my brother.
Okay, and Maxwell, I want you to elaborate on the National Labour Commission's arbitral award from last year, specifically regarding migration and pay compensation. Why do you believe the government has failed to implement these recommendations?
My brother, National Labour Commission has the powers of the High Court. And after several negotiations, labor law required that if the two parties are not making a headway, there's a need for one party to trigger compulsory arbitration. And that was exactly what CETAG did. So CETAG went through the processes. And the ruling was clear for government to comply with. But while government is not complying, my brother, your guess is as good as mine. I will not be able to tell.
Right.
We have had a meeting and they kept promising that they will get it done.
Okay.
Why they are not doing it, maybe this is the time to also engage the government team to find out from them why they have reneged on the promises that they have given to us. Please, you can place a call to the government team. The Minister for Education is there. The Minister for Employment and Labour Relations. We signed onto a minute of a meeting on the 19th of August 2024.
Right.
It is there, so please find out from them why they are not telling the Ghanaian public anything regarding CETAG issue.
I remember CETAG going on strike last year for more than 50 days. Now, how long do you anticipate this strike will last, and what will it take for CETAG to call off the industrial action and probably return to work?
My brother, this strike is not emanating from me as a national president. I'm part of council, and council of CETAG is the higher decision-making body. They have looked at the issues and have taken this final decision. So long as government decides not to pay attention to our issue, then of course the strike will last for that long. Right. Maybe unless Jesus Christ comes in to intervene.
With barely 2 weeks to the reopening of school, what is CETAG's message to students, parents, and the general public regarding the impact of this strike on academic activities and the education system as a whole?
Can you repeat the question?
With barely 2 weeks to the reopening of schools, I want to find out from CETAG what your message is to students, parents, and the general public regarding the impact of this strike on academic activities and obviously the education system as a whole. Hello, Maxwell?
Yeah. You're talking about the impact of the strike.
Yes.
Yeah, so
the
like
stakeholders,
I said,
I want to find out from you what your message is to the stakeholders, which is the parents, the students, and the general public as well.
Okay, thank you. The message is simple. It is through no fault of ours that we have to embark on this strike. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you, sir.
I'm saying that it's through no fault of ours. So we want the parents to appreciate the fact that this current strike is not deliberate. We don't mean to actually frustrate parents or students. It is as a result of the government's listless attitude towards implementing our demands per the National Labour Commission's ruling. So we actually want to assure them that once government comes up to resolve this issue amicably, we are ready to come back to the classroom to teach or do our work as expected of us.
Right. Maxwell Bunu is the CETAG president. I want to thank you very much for your time this morning. Well, we'll still stay on education because the National Executive Council of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, has called for a delay in the reopening of schools originally scheduled for tomorrow, the 3rd of January. In an emergency meeting held on Tuesday, CHAS leadership urged the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education to reconsider the reopening date, citing unresolved financial issues. Let's briefly go through the press statement that was issued by CHAS, and it says that the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education have been strongly advised against the reopening of schools on 3rd January after the Christmas break. The reasons accounting for this recommendation were contained in earlier letters written to the Minister of Education through the Director General dated the 12th of August 2024, the 13th of November, and the 20th of December 2024, requesting government to make good payment of all areas in respect of perishables and recurrent fees, as well as monies owed to schools emanating from the cutting of food items from the various regional distribution centers to schools. It concludes by saying that leadership appeals to all members to take note of the content of this correspondence and adhere to them. Any action contrary to this directive will be considered as a betrayal of the trust of the cause of CHAS. Return from the break with more. Stay tuned. Hello again. Refugees in the Atakura camp in the Kantamanto North Municipality of the Bono East region have called for support to help them survive. The Atakura refugee camp houses about 350 people who escaped terror attacks in neighboring Burkina Faso and are now living in Ghana. The refugees say even though they appreciate the shelter offered them, food and other basic necessities have become a bother to them. In this report, we met Michael Jologu, who now narrates how he and others escaped when a community near his house was attacked. The following report has more.
That are killing. I see them in my eye. they kill them to pass. Me, myself, I see them, the dead body.
It was a beautiful Saturday morning for Michael Jalugu and his family on the 7th of April 2023. They had plans for the day, but that was going to change. Tragedy has struck the area. Terrorists had attacked a community before Michael's communities, killing several people. Michael and his family had to flee for their life.
The thing happened to us. We are coming from Burkina because Burkina, we have dangerous things there, because one group, they call them terrorists, them also fire us there. If they came your place, they will kill all of them. Now they kill many towns. Now we see that one. That's why we ran away Burkina Faso.
There was no time to pick anything. They therefore left behind all they had toiled for in life.
Our lives here is not easy because we don't have anything. We just come empty. That's why our life is not easy for us.
Michael pastored a church in Burkina Faso. Today, he's teaching the children on putting their trust in God as their only hope. Sanata is one of the women in the camp. She tells us the struggle they go through each day to make ends meet.
Life is not easy in the camp. Food to eat, water to drink. When our children are sick, to get money to send them to hospital is a challenge because we don't have health insurance.
For these children, riding over 5 kilometers each day for water has become a normal routine.
Where we go to fetch the water is very far. Without the bicycle, you can't go. I go to fetch the water 3 times every day, and that is very tiring.
Fortunately, the Rural Water and Development Program Ghana, an implementing partner of UNICEF, is drilling hand-up wells and toilet facility for the refugees. It's been several days of prospecting. They finally hit water. The team spent their Christmas helping the refugees. Dr. Nathaniel Adams Jr. is the CEO of RWDP. He said they dedicate the day's work to the memory of former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, who passed on for his humanitarian service to the world and Ghana.
As a team, we understand emergency. We decided to forgo the Christmas. 25th, we were here, 26th. Fortunately, we've been able to find some access to water. That is okay. We'll now work on it for them. And so we sacrifice the Christmas to provide life for the many children who are here and the women.
Here at the Atakura Health Center, head of the facility, Evelyn Yeruye, said most of the illnesses these refugees come with are malaria and diarrhea.
The conditions they come here with is malaria, diarrhea, skin infection. And for this season, this dry season is not much, but rainy season that they come more with diarrhea.
The facility is fortunate to benefit a borehole from the donors. Zong Wapo Susan tells us the challenges they had to go through working without water.
There's no water here. The only season we get water is the rainy season that we get. We get the rainwater to use. But after the rainy season, there's no water here. The UNICEF people came around and they are giving us some water here. We are very, very happy for the water they've given us.
Martina Bugre with that report. Now, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Works and Housing, led by the committee chairman Vincent Upon Asamoah is this afternoon touring the Saglemi housing project following last Tuesday's inferno that burned 2 containers serving as storage facilities for hardware meant for the completion of the housing project, which has stalled for over 7 years now. Our committee chairman, Vincent Asamoah, expressed concern about the current state of the project.
The committee's visit to the Saglemi housing site was to see at first hand the level of damage following last Tuesday's inferno that burnt 2 containers serving as storage facilities for hardware meant for the completion of the project, which has stalled for close to 8 years now. Committee chairman Vincent Asamoah expressed concern about the current state of the project.
It's terrible. This is about our 3rd time of coming here, and you know those materials have been here for over 10 years. And living it at the vagaries of the weather, you can imagine what has happened to it. The question we keep on asking ourselves, if we had used our own money, pocket money to procure this, would they allow it to go waste the way we have done it? You know, we have spent over $200 million to procure all these items, apart from the structures we see here. The materials too, also a cost to the government. So if we are leaving it the way we have left it for 10 years, and most of the materials we cannot do anything with it. And that is what we have done to ourselves as a country. That's the way we treat ourselves.
He accused the Kufuor-led government of deliberately abandoning the project.
If we had even salvaged about half of this project, at least we have saved something for the state, the 200 million. We have saved something for the state. As for legal to go by illegal issues, you can have time to go to legal issues. It can take 10, 15, 20 years. But at least what we have there belongs to all of us. So we need to protect it. Look at the road where we are standing. Look at the quality of road. Look at the drainage system. And for 7, 8 years, we've not done anything about it. Why? That's the question we need to be asking ourselves.
Oforikrom MP Dr. Iman Omafu and member of Parliament Select Committee on Works and Housing says provisions must be made to ensure continuity of projects even during changes in government.
We need to, as part of the transition act or the arrangements for presidential transition, we need to maybe amend that and include such component on projects. Because this is a $200 million project. That's a lot of money. So it cannot be that we, as a country, we don't know how to manage transitions. And that transition is only telling people this is what we have done, see the document. No, we should also be able to negotiate arrangements to say that this project that we are leaving for you, we are supposed to build, let's say, 5,000, and we have been able to do 500 or 1,000. These 1,000, they are ready. So we block that and say that even if you are going to make changes to a contract or whatever, these ones, we need to be able to allow it to go.
He also assured the committee, as part of its oversight responsibilities, will invite the Ghana Police Service to answer questions regarding lapses in security management at the Saglemi housing project site.
Of course, we are clothed with the authority to call any public servant or any public agency to answer questions. So once there is an arrangement that the Ghana Police Service was contracted to provide security, and as you can see from here, there's no evidence that there's even as we came here, we've been here for almost 1 hour. There's no security around. So it tells you that there's a security failure. And therefore, whoever was contracted to provide security definitely will need to have an answer. As a committee of parliament, it is our responsibility to provide oversight. And therefore, we have every powers to be able to call the Ghana Police Service and the Ministry of Works and Housing to jointly come and answer why for so many years the site has been left unguarded for thieves and people to invade, as it were, the site.
The project has been given to a private developer and construction is expected to resume anytime soon. Prince Kwame Kuduge's report for Joy News.
Let's head to the courts now because Atakura High Court will on Saturday, January 4th, deliver judgment on MPP's application seeking to compel the Electoral Commission to recollate the results in some 4 disputed constituencies. It follows the court's dismissal of an earlier legal objection raised by the NDC, paving way for the substantive case to be dealt with. Now, the NDC insists the results have already been declared in all these constituencies, and regardless of the issues the MPP may have, an application for mandamus is not the right forum. Member of our Legal Affairs Desk, Kwiku Asante, has more in the following report.
The day started in court with a judge ruling on the NDC's preliminary legal objection that has been made in this case. You will recall that yesterday the NDC made a case that this was an election petition disguised as a mandamus application, and that once all the declarations have been made in all these 4 constituencies, the remedy for the NPP parliamentary candidate is to go by way of parliamentary election petition if they feel that the declaration made were null and void. And that was the case Edujiku Jotameklo made yesterday. The High Court judge disagreed today and ruled against the NDC when it comes to the preliminary legal objection. And so the mandamus application itself had to be gone into. We started from Tema Central, where Gary Nimako, the lawyer for the NPP parliamentary candidate, made the case that a coalition was not concluded and that the entire process was marred with violence, and that they did write to the Electoral Commission demanding that the results be recollated and a declaration be made. They also talked about the fact that the NDC has not provided any evidence to back the fact that they actually won that election because they have not attached any summary result sheet to this. The Electoral Commission did not oppose this application for mandamus, except to say that they are ready to undertake their statutory obligation if the court orders them to do so. Edujiku Jotameklo, the lawyer for the NDC, opposed this application and said if the NPP's case is that the declaration were made in breach of any statute or CI 127, the applicable place to go is the High Court, but by way of an election petition and not come by way of mandamus. Again, he cited a letter written by the NPP parliamentary candidate to the Electoral Commission that actually admitted that EC officials in Tema Central had actually declared NDC's Ebi Bright as the parliamentary candidate-elect, but except to say that that declaration was made in breach of due process, for which reason he wanted the process restarted. And he said once the declaration had been made, the remedy lied in an election petition. There was also a tape played in court of the returning officer in the constituency declaring Ebi Bright, and the NDC's case is that once that evidence has been led in court to show that there was a declaration, if the claim of the NPP is that the declaration was made in breach of any regulation, then they have to go by way of an election petition and lead evidence to these effects. The court then called the case of Okaikwe Central, where Gary Nimako made the point that the declaration of Baba Sadiq as MP-elect took into cognizance only 110 polling stations in that constituency, and that in fact there are more than 140 polling stations there, which clearly showed that the collation exercise had not been concluded. Edujiku Jotameklo then cited a letter written by Patrick Boama to the Electoral Commission where he demands a revocation of the declaration of Baba Sadiq as MP-elect because of what he called irregularities. Edujiku Jotameklo made the same case again, that if Patrick Boama incited a case of irregularities, then the appropriate forum is the High Court by way of an election petition. It was the same case with respect to Techiman South and Ablekuma North, where the NDC had been declared as the winners of that parliamentary election. The case was made that those declarations were made without due process and that the court should set same aside and order a collation of the results. The NDC again made the case that it's only an election petition where an evidence will be led to actually get to the root of the claims that have been made, that these declarations were made in excess of the powers conferred on the Electoral Commission. Irabnobin, who was earlier declared as the MP-elect for Ablekuma North, as well as Baba Sadiq, who was earlier declared as MP-elect for Okaikwe Central, spoke to us after the hearing and said they were confident that they are going to win this case and take their rightful seats in Parliament.
Delay is not denial. I mean, we were all in the courtroom. It's been 6 hours of sitting. And no matter how the MPP decide to twist and turn issues, we are all privy to events. So I have no doubt that the will of the people will still stand.
Yes, I've always been confident that it will be affirmed. We're hopeful. Let's see how Saturday goes. We'll wait for the ruling on Saturday, but we're very confident that with the case that we put before the judge and the strength of the authorities we cited, I mean, this shows that this will be affirmed.
The NPP side did not avail themselves for interview, but we know now that on Saturday, the High Court will rule as to whether or not the mandamus application that have been made by the NPP has enough grounds for which reason it must be granted or say must be dismissed, and the earlier declaration made by the Electoral Commission should stand, and if any party is agreed, then it should go by way of an election petition. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, High Court Complex, Accra.
Well, schooling in the 90s must have been the most memorable time for many who danced to the music of Daddy Lumba, Kudwenchi, Sonny Bali, Book Back, Obrafour, Tic Tac, and many others during Friday night entertainment at the boarding house. Well, if you were in the university, you probably also enjoyed music from the likes of Tupac Shakur, Naughty by Nature, Notorious B.I.J., and more. Well, it is time to relive those moments with the Joy FM 90s Jam scheduled to take place tomorrow, the 3rd of January 2025 at the Pleasure Gardens in Jowulu at 8 p.m. Ahead of the event, though, some of my colleagues have been sharing their favorite 90s music and what schooling was like during that era.
90s schooling? Well, I think it was a better experience than what's happening right now, because social media, every time people want to post stuff, people want to go viral. Yeah, so back in the day, it was more like human interactions. Yeah, if you go home until the next day, you don't hear from anybody else. Yeah, unless you are one of the privileged people who have like the phones at home, the landline. Yeah, I think that's a major difference. Favorite 90s music? Hey, I don't think I have a favorite though, but old school R&B, some old school hip hop, like the Tupacs, the B.I.G.s. Juicy. I like Juicy. Do you know Juicy? No, the song Juicy. Yeah, B.I.G. That's the song, Juicy. Yeah.
Well, I think that it was nice schooling in the 90s. Some of us, you had to walk to school, so you close from school and you're working with your friends, and then you're playing football along the stretch. I think schooling then was more competitive than it is now in terms of the things you have to go through before you can learn. So schooling in the 90s, better than it is now. And I love the I'll see you when you get there, if you ever get there. I love that one. And then Tupac's Changes, also a very good song. And then at a point in time, there was Shaggy with There Wasn't Me, Hot Shot, and all those tracks. Yeah, those were very good times then. I think that for somebody who grew up listening to hip life, I want to see more of the hip life songs, but they should also come in with the Tupac Shakur, the B.I.G.s, the Shaggy songs. There was Mr. Yellowman at a point, and then they should also bring the Westlife, An Empty Street, An Empty House. Yeah, that one too. We're waiting for those ones. Yeah.
From the 90s Jam, let's head to Parliament now, because Parliament has resumed sitting this morning, and among a number of businesses to conduct a look at the end of year budget review. And our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante is in the house and joins us live with updates. Kweku, what are the agenda for today? What's on the table? Hello, Kweku, can you hear me? Right, Kweku, I believe you can hear me. I'm asking you what's on the table this morning, because Parliament is resuming, where it's going to consider a number of things, including a look at the end of year budget review as well. And those are visuals from Parliament. As you can see on your screen, we're trying to connect to our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Kweku Asante, who is in the house to bring us up to speed on the number of issues that are to be expected today. Right, that's Kweku in our shots there. Right.
We know there was a big dispute between the minority and majority side, for which reason that piece of business did not come. And with Parliament resuming after the Christmas and New Year break, expectation is that this piece of business will be put before the House, and so the minister may come and do that. We haven't gotten any indication yet as to when exactly that will be done, if that will be done at all. The NDC have served notice that if the NPP does not do that before they hand over power on the 7th of January, the new John Dramani Mahama administration will come in and get that piece of business done immediately. John Dramani Mahama is sworn in next week, Tuesday. But tomorrow, the President, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, will deliver the last message on the State of the Nation address to account for his stewardship over the last 8 years in terms of what he's been able to do, the key challenges and where the government is leaving the economy and all the big issues. We expect that will be done tomorrow. And so if you come around Parliament, there's a lot of work going on around. There is a lot of security around. That kind of issues are being dealt with. And so with Parliament just about to be dissolved, and today there's also been a news conference by the leadership of the House to brief the nation on the measures that are being taken ahead of Parliament being dissolved next week. But if you come to the floor, you see that a few changes have happened, and the camera will pan and give you a shot. The chamber has been remodeled a little bit ahead of the new Parliament coming in. There are new sound systems, there are new screens that you can see that MPs can make use of. They can use documents and other things on that, and so this all form part of the 2.5 million euros renovation that Parliament did in this chamber, and all that has been concluded. And we expect that when the House is gathered in session, they'll test all these equipment to ensure that all of them are working, with the Parliament expected to be sworn in. There'll be a big changes when Parliament returns for the 9th Parliament, because the NDC have now what is called a supermajority, 2/3. That means they will be in the majority side on the right-hand side of the Speaker, and perhaps will take over 1, 2, 3 of these pews, with the NPP side occupying just this space, and that will be done when the House is partitioned properly for the 9th Parliament. So, Kenneth, that is the situation in Parliament as we speak, where we expect that the House will be gathered in session pretty shortly, and these are the major business that the House will be considering ahead of being dissolved for the 9th Parliament to be sworn in.
Kwesante is a parliamentary affairs correspondent bringing us update live from the House of Legislature. And that's it for News Desk this morning. The news team returns at midday with Joy News. Today, my name is Kenneth Jesse. Bye for now.